Blog Talk Radio. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Hi, everyone. This is Chatting with Nat. Yes, this is Natalie Jean. So today we have award-winning singer-songwriter Angie Hayes. Award-winning singer-songwriter Angie Hayes is a multi-instrumentalist, composer, and producer. Her latest sound is evocative and experimental with a new creep-pop appeal. Riveting and poignant, it features haunting vocal arrangements and diverse instrumentation. Hayes fearlessly uncovers her viability as a way to enlighten and connect people. Her story of survival never fails to influence change. Angie Hayes' gritty performance features 5-part vocal arrangements and a wide variety of musicians. Her band represents commonality that reflects the voices of distinct cultures. They clearly demonstrate compassion and a bond necessary to continue. Let's give a round of applause for Angie Hayes.
Audio Jungle.
Don't you just love that? Applause.
That's pretty fantastic. Thank you. What a welcome.
I had to get one because I wanted to make people feel welcome, and I just love to applaud, and my little hands are not going to do justice. So we have to do it. So how have you been during this pandemic?
Oh, man. It's been an up and down bit of emotions, you know. At first it was really scary and discouraging, and but then I was really grateful for it. I eventually kind of came at peace with it as far as, like, you know, some self-discovery and work, and yeah, I feel pretty good right now.
It's been kind of crazy, yeah. I was going on a year plus. It's just been, there's a lot of things that we are made aware of ourselves and other people during this past year, or the past 6 years. So
yeah,
it's been enlightening, that's for sure. Have you been doing
very much?
Yeah, have you been doing any live streaming?
I have done a little bit, yes. I haven't as much lately. I've been really focusing on trying to finish my album, so I've been just really, really honing in on production and trying to get that done. And so I've kind of made that my first and foremost priority at this time. Right.
No, I get it. This was actually the first year I ever did live streaming, and it's the good thing about it is it's helped me practice music, so I just don't forget things, although I can't remember all my lyrics anymore, but that's okay because that happens all the time.
Right.
That live streaming is fun because sometimes you can have a large audience, you can have a little audience, or sometimes you're just singing to yourself. But, you know, at least the world knows you're still doing your thing and you're out there. So how would you describe your music?
Oh, wow. So I guess, like, you know, I started out playing just acoustic guitar and piano are my two main instruments, and with singing. And so a lot of people would end up saying, you know, that sounds really like folksy or worldly or something, you know. So, but my production these days has really changed a lot. So I've kind of gravitated towards more of like a pop production. And which has been really fun because I'm kind of taking some of the typical instrumentation I would do, and kind of expanding it to some different sounds and stuff. So, now it's a little bit more produced and more modern sounding, but yeah, I kind of, as far as my influences for production right now, I kind of like to utilize like some of the like Radiohead tones, a little bit of Billie Eilish with I don't know if you're familiar with Cosmo Sheldrake. Those are kind of my what I cherry pick as far as production goes right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since we are in a pandemic, how have you been able to deal with like mental health issues? Obviously, this affects a lot of people with mental health issues. I know when the pandemic first started, I read about a guy that lived in the UK and he just couldn't deal not seeing other people. He ended up committing suicide. So how have you been in regards to that during this whole pandemic?
Well, as far as like, I enjoy working at home and I don't want to say antisocial, but I really like to keep focused and disciplined and working on my own for the most part. But then I also really love my band like a lot. Like they're like a family. So I really, really enjoy playing with them. That's been really difficult, is not having them to like play music with and see and, when it started, I was in the process of EMDR. I don't know if you're familiar with EMDR therapy. It's specifically for trauma, to kind of treat trauma in a way that's more of like reprogramming and reprocessing trauma. So it's not like it's not a therapy to make you forget as much as it is just to reprocess and lessen the blow. Is kind of how I explain it to people. So like, I've suffered from a lot of different things. It's like if you've had trauma, you feel like it's happening, even presently sometimes, like with PTSD and sometimes. Yeah. So this process is really fantastic because it kind of goes back to the root of it and reprocesses that, and then you don't feel like it's happening. It's I don't even know. It's incredible. I'm still not really sure I understand how it works. I'm just blown away at how effective it is. And, the main key to it is being open. But I started this in 2019 and then in the fall. And then and I was like in the middle of doing a really hard session. And it is very intense when you start. And then the pandemic hit and I hadn't finished this really intense one. And I was like kind of losing my mind because it wasn't resolved. And then all of this stuff happened and it was supposed to be my biggest year musically. We had our biggest concerts lined up, talking about doing a national debut release. And so everything just seemed to like completely fall apart, and not having music as like my biggest outlet, like feeling like it was kind of just being taken away. It kind of felt, it was devastating. It was definitely devastating. I took a good minute to really pick myself up from really grieving for so many reasons.
I bet.
Unfortunately, I'm in an incredible relationship. My wife is amazing and supportive, and I think we were able to kind of, pull through it, pull each other through it, and spend time together, which is really nice. So there was other things that started coming out of it that I kind of had, was able to look at it in a more positive light and go, wow, this is pretty incredible. You look at these animals coming out right now and look at the time that we get to spend together. We can do what we want right now, and I can do other parts of music that I haven't been able to do. So yeah, it just took some time to shift the energy, but now I feel like, I'm in a place where I'm able to use it for some good reasons.
I love that you mentioned the animals, because one of the things I tell people is that, the pandemic has been horrifying because so many people have lost loved ones, and so many people are dealing with a lot of trauma in regards to it. I actually did get COVID, so I have a lot of the lingering. Yeah, it's been it's been up and down. But what people realize, especially people that were never around their family members, now they got the chance to hang out with their family. Like this one guy told me, he's like, you know what? What I've learned is that I'm going to cut back on my work. I realized enough time with my family. So there've been the positives on this, in the sense that family members are working together. They're spending time. They're just there for each other. And then the other thing that you mentioned, the animals, and the whole climate change. I mean, the climate change wasn't it. We didn't see the climate change in the sense that because there were so many people that were not on the road, not in the world.
Yeah.
The earth had the time to breathe. The earth had the time to breathe. So that's
right.
I mean, that's the only, those are the beautiful moments that you can take away from the pandemic. And, and I think also the fact that people have had the time to self-reflect is another beautiful thing. I mean, but all the crap has been awful.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I think the positive parts of it were just kind of like, Mother Earth had the chance to finally heal a little bit, and we kind of had the opportunity to see how much space we take up. Kind of going, oh, humans, we take up so much space, and maybe I can think about how much space I as an individual take up, and what does that mean, and and what can I do to better myself and how I occupy that space with people, with the environment, you know what I mean? It's just definitely tons of self-reflection, which I think we all just really needed that. I think the universe needed that, Mother Earth needed that. And, it's like we kind of got an opportunity to really see that, as difficult as it's been and as horrifying as, some of this has been for humanity and the loss we've dealt with. I think we've also been able to kind of have a chance to really, self-reflect and get closer with one another and closer to all of the gifts that we've been given.
Exactly. Oh, I agree with you 100%. So how, the fact that you've survived all this trauma, how do you use that with your music?
So, I have been composing songs even just in my head since I was a kid. I think that's really so I was abused, sexually abused by my father. And I remember, I don't know if you're familiar with dissociation and how that works.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a way you kind of check out, you leave the abuse. So I would do that, and I would go to these places of just creating music. And I remember the melody, things that I would make up in my head. I would translate to piano, eventually. And, then I would kind of think about the instrumentation and who would be playing what, and just kind of and it's kind of crazy, but the group, the instrumentation that I had created even as a child is literally what I have to this day as a band. It's kind of weird, and down to even the diversity of everyone. It's really weird. I'm not even sure why, I don't know. There's something about that law of attraction, I guess. But I really was able to cope, with just creating and kind of channeling something into music, and I don't know. It was a way to cope. It was a way to heal. It was a way to kind of channel it into just something positive, I think if I hadn't had it, if I didn't have music, I don't know if I would have survived, to be quite honest with you. I had hit so many points of just really, really being on the edge, and the only thing that held me back was just, I'm going to do something with music. That's what I would always say in my head. So, kind of weird.
But I love that you're able to use past experiences, although traumatic, in your music, because I think you're making a difference. I think other people will listen to you and they'll say, "Oh my God, this person gets me. I need to listen to more of this." Um, and like I tell everybody, I think people are looking for more authentic artists because they want to relate to something, to be able to say, this person is an artist, they're an independent artist or they're a mainstream artist, but I need to connect. So what fans are looking for, they're looking for a way to connect to us, basically, so that when they listen to the music, they're like, they feel close to you. They feel like you're a friend. They feel like you're somebody just so aware of what they've gone through. And I always say this, that type of music truly is set to heal other people. Because you never know what going through, you know what I mean? And so I've had people say, "Oh my God, I listened to this song and I just needed it at that moment, and I needed to feel joy, or I needed to feel sadness, or I needed to be angry, or whatever the feeling they need." So a lot of people just don't get how powerful music is. It can heal us, and it's healing somebody else at the same time. So when I look at music, I feel blessed that I'm able to do it. And I'm like you, music has been my saving grace. If I wasn't doing music, I don't know what else I'd be doing. And I mean, I've been through my own, I was sexually assaulted. And so it's really allowed me to push through, and I've written a song about it. And, because I think that people just need to know that they are not alone. So I really appreciate the fact that, you put yourself out there. That's awesome. Now, we're about to play. Were you going to say something?
Oh no, I was just agreeing. I think having that raw vulnerability as an artist. I mean, the beautiful thing about music is that it allows us a safe space of vulnerability and to have your bare voice and all of that rawness shared. And how beautiful of a thing that's really what can touch someone else, and that makes it all worth it. Like I don't even feel bad about the abuse. This makes it worth it if it can help someone else. Yeah. Exactly.
Amen. So I'm about to play, because it's only me here. So what's this song? I am you, I am, you are, we are enough about?
So I have struggled because of my abuse. I have struggled with believing that about myself.
Right.
And I actually even just recently did EMDR on that very thing. And I think because I have struggled with not feeling enough, I have sabotaged my career. I can't even tell you how many opportunities I've had that I have just, whether it was, consciously or not, I have just really sabotaged my career because I didn't believe I deserved it. So I got really sick of it. So I just decided to do EMDR on this and found of course it started from, this event, this trauma. And so, and I thought, how cool would it be to just do a song that's kind of an affirmation, because really until I truly, truly believe that of myself, until I truly, truly look inside and believe that of myself, I cannot fully believe that and help uplift people to believe that of themselves. You know what I mean? It has to start. It's an inside job. I can't remember who quoted that first, but it's so important to do that work so that you can then, that's how you move the world. That's how you make a difference. So I decided to start to write a song about it as an affirmation, and hopefully I know that I'm not the only one that feels that way, and so I was hoping to kind of inspire others through something like that with music.
All righty, I love that. We're going to have a word from our sponsor, and then we'll play it. Hold on.
Hi, it's Jordan and Madison, and we're Jay Madison out of Nashville, Tennessee. We'd love to tell you about B Squared Management, artist services by artists for artists. Get your press, branding, single release, and sync success plan now at bsquaredmgmt.com. And listen up to our latest single, Down, now on Spotify.
while I sing you a love song. Walk away when you feel it's too long. Paint the words a million colors, still no one sees my heart. Give everything as they don't care, 'cause something else captures their love. You are, we are enough.
My God, that was so beautiful. I had like goosebumps. It takes a lot for me to get the goosebumps when it comes to music, but that was goosebumpy. I loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Very
Thank
beautiful.
you so much.
And here's the irony is that, I've been posting a lot of quotes inspirational quotes on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter and stuff like that. And my quotes are all about being yourself and loving yourself and being fearless and that you're enough. And, it's interesting. When I was little, I didn't like myself at all. I didn't love myself. And it wasn't until late adulthood that I had to learn how to love myself. And because if you don't love yourself, how do you expect other people to love you? How do you expect anybody to love music? Because whatever you put out is your own energy. So it took a while for me to get to that point. And now I feel like, I just have to get other people to get to that point. And people have contacted me. They'll say, oh, my God, I needed that quote right now because, I had all these ideas about being myself and loving myself. And, in the United States, some people tend to think that like you're conceited, but that's not even what it's about. You have to love yourself. If you don't like yourself,
if you don't,
it's crazy.
Yeah. Right.
It's crazy.
And if you don't, you can't. Oh, go ahead.
No. I'm just saying it's crazy.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm with you. And if you don't love yourself, you can't truly 100% love somebody else. And I know that people kind of, we reverse this all the time. Well, love yourself. It's not that you are saying that you're above others. That's not it at all. It's you are taking the time to notice and understand and appreciate value. Authentically do that with every single person that you encounter and the earth. Like, it's so that you do that full-heartedly and genuinely and not have animosity and not have insecurities and jealousies. It's because that's the only way that truly works to be authentic about it is it's from starting within.
No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And I think it's an epidemic, to be honest with you. How many people just they don't love themselves, or they care too much about what people think. Growing up, I really cared about what people thought because my mom was like that. And after a while, I'm like, I have to be me. I don't have time for these people. These people are not going to be forever. I'm not here to make other people happy. I'm here to make myself happy. And in the process of being happy, hopefully that will spread out to the other people and they'll be happy because they see me happy. But we truly cannot care about what people think. And the funny thing is, in the music industry, when you're submitting your music somewhere, you have to care what they think. But my way of dealing with that is like, music is subjective. If they don't like this, somebody else will.
Right.
That's how I do that. That's how I deal with that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about ageism for females in the music industry?
So I think that it's getting better, maybe. That is my hope. But I think, workplace in general, it's harder for females. Mm-hmm. And I think I really feel like much bias and another thing that I think is really hard is other females judging. We judge each other, which makes it really difficult. So I think first and foremost, we have to fix that problem and especially in the music industry, because I think there's so much competition. Yeah. And because we know that we have to work harder, I think there tends to be a little bit of like a jealousy competition thing where like, I can't be happy for you because I'm not somewhere further, So there tends to be this like competitive thing with women in the music industry. So, and we already have so much against us, and like, you know, it's already hard. So I think that we have to fix that issue first and really kind of see each other and uplift each other. And when one of us is doing well, we need to praise each other for that. And I know it's hard because there is that sense of, well, what if you know, if this person gets it, then there's no room for me, you know? And that's so far from the truth. Really, I think if you're just completely and truly authentic to yourself, and like here, I'm trying to do a pop album, right? And I'm 39 years old, okay? And I don't care. Because, like, we're breaking glass, right? It's time. Right. So whatever. Like, I hope that I'm kind of, in a sense, I'm almost doing it as a statement of like, yeah, that's how old I am. And yes, I'm going to be a national act. I swear. Like, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It's just, I believe it, and I'm determined. And I'm not saying this as a way of like, you know, to be conceited whatsoever, as much as I really am determined to make that statement of, you can do this. Anyone, any woman my age or older or whatever, you can do this. And I think that's so important to make that statement. So this album that I've been working on is like all the blood, sweat, and tears involved in it. It's totally, it's kind of different as far as what I've normally done with production wise, but it's still very, very much me. There's a lot of, I don't even know, edge to it. I'm really I'm not holding back at all. So, which kind of makes me really anxious, but it makes me really anxious. But for that reason, I think it's right, you know, and, and my goal is really just I want to inspire people to do whatever it is that they want to do, especially women, and especially in this industry. Like, why should you have to like think small or dream small? You don't have to, you know. I think it's hard for us, but I also think that we have the ability to do whatever we want, you know, in our careers. And I think the biggest part is just kind of starting with, you know, women supporting each other first, you know.
I agree with that 100%. You know, music is a wonderful space, and you know, music should just be a place where it doesn't matter if you're a man, woman, black, white, green, whatever. Music is actually a place where people do get along. So this whole ageism thing, I mean, I'm way older than you are. And, you know, I'm still doing music. I don't even think about the age thing. I'm just going to do my thing, because the thing is, you have an audience. People are going to want to listen to you. And then your fans and everybody else is just going to be like, we want to hear more of her. So we can have a great career in music. And it's not just about touring. It could be your music listed in film, sync, whatever, all over the place. And, you know, you get that notoriety. And I think more and more people are becoming so aware that, you know, music is music. It shouldn't really matter where it's coming from or who it's coming from. As long as it's making the person feel good and they are affected by it and they're just moved by it, I think that's just the awesomeness of what we do as artists. So I'm going to play Wave Goodbye. What is that about?
So that's actually a song I wrote. Oh, man, I wrote that years ago. And I was kind of I was really thinking about war, to be honest, and how, like, kind of looking at it as, like, in a way that, like, what are we doing? It's like we're just, like, it's like kids just doing, like, this awful thing, but, I don't know. It seemed so, I can't remember what it was that made me start thinking about it. I thought about the idea of, like, how are we really going to fight each other on, like, really physically, like, end someone's life, you know? Right. So I kind of like looked at it as like, you know, a way of like, yeah, like children fighting and kind of relating it to that, I guess. And so that's where the song kind of happened. But I was excited because I actually was a finalist in the international songwriting competition with that song. Yeah, it was really, really cool. So yeah.
Awesome. Let's play it.
Wave goodbye, syllable. Forget what your mama taught you. She taught you not to hate, boy. I know there's nothing I can say. The words can change the way you hate. But feel me when I wave. Feel me when I wave. Stop throwing punches, baby boy. You're still fighting over nothing but the same toys. But the power you have now that you're grown can only poison your soul. So I say it's time for me to get going. Time for me to get going, 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 going. You fight 'cause your heart aches, but the man you fight is heartache too. Can't we just hold each other? If we could just know each other before we waved goodbye, before we waved goodbye. You fight 'cause your heart aches, but the man you fight is heartache too. Can't we just hold each other? If we could just know each other before we waved goodbye.
Oh, I love that. I love the blues feel of that song.
Thank you. Yeah,
Awesome.
I definitely love blues for sure, and I love like minor, like in minor keys. I love blues.
It was
Very
groovy.
much.
Groovy. So if you could give advice to your younger self, what advice would you give?
I would definitely say to work on the self-worth factor, And I wish, like, I honestly, I don't even know if it was available then, like EMDR in particular.
Right.
I feel like I've been in therapy since I was 15. And so, like, even with someone telling you to your face, you deserve this, hearing that all the time, it, like, if with a therapist, it still didn't sink in. It didn't matter. And not that it's not important or helpful to go to talk therapy. I think it is very helpful. But I think when you have trauma, there are so many elements to experiencing trauma that it doesn't really impact you to just hear someone tell you something, in the present, that you are valuable and whatever, because of what your abuse said. Your abuse told you that you were a piece of crap, that you were worthless, that you were trash, that, all these horrible things. So until that is mended in some way or relieved in some way, it's almost like it was, well, at least with my situation, it seemed impossible to reverse that thinking. So I don't even know if something like EMDR was available then. If it was, I would have been like, do this. Do this for your sake, and just to prevent myself from that sabotage.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I like what you said there. What is one quote that you live by? If you have it. Or saying.
Something I always kind of say is to lead, not to gain followers, but to inspire more leaders.
Amen. Amen. I love that. Because I'll piggyback off of something that you said about women, always being in competition. That's why we started this Sisters in Music thing, my friend Nikki and I, because we wanted to show the world that, or women, that we don't have to be in competition, because together we are stronger. I mean, like you said, the world is big enough for every. There are thousands of independent artists, and you know what? The space is big enough for all of us. And people who they want to listen to. I mean, music is an awesome thing, and we just have to be chill and work together and uplift one another and say, oh my God, you did this. Whenever I see anybody do it, men, women, whoever, if they've done something that they accomplished something, or it could be a parking space, I always say congratulations, because I like to know people, whatever they did. It's not going to hurt me to say, hey, I'm so happy for you. I'm not going to say, oh my God, why did she get that? And you know what? In my career, in my time, people do with me in the sense that, I've gotten some stuff, and some people have said, well, one person messaged me on Facebook, this was a couple of years ago, and says, Amigas, your music is good, but I don't understand why you're winning all these awards. And I went off on him. But politely,
oh my God.
And I was like, dude, don't even get me started, because I could say a few things. But and that's okay, because I know those type of people are out there. So I've decided to just surround myself with positive people, and then try to get people to understand. Again, the space is big enough for all of us together.
Yes.
Strong. So.
And I think, in dealing with people like that, I think if you can just remember, like, it has nothing to do with you as much as it just has to do with this person has some real fear and insecurity that you're taking something away from them. And so, and kind of just going, I've tried to shift my thinking with that stuff, like, and going and actually just feeling actual compassion for someone. Like, I can see this for what it is now. This has nothing to do with me. And I'm sorry that you're hurting, and I'm sorry that you feel like you need to diminish my celebration of whatever, because that's just showing that you really feel small, and that's sad. And I don't, and I'm sorry that you feel like that.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah, well, I people like that all the time. Whatevs. Now tell our audience where they can find you on the internet.
So I have a website, so you can follow me on my website. It's just, you can either just go angiehaze.com, and that's Haze, or the Angie Hayes project.com. But yeah, I'm all over, like Instagram. It's at the Angie Hayes Project. Most things are the Angie Hayes Project. That's my full band, my full 9-piece band. Yeah, and I have a Patreon that I've got like exclusive material that I'm releasing on there for my patrons, and it's kind of cool. I have some mixes that I have never shown anybody, and I have an album on there actually right now that was recorded when I was 16, but it was professionally recorded. Like I had like, you know, I went to a really, really nice high-end studio, and yeah, so it's funny. I sound really, really small. It's really kind of great. Yeah, so you can find me all over.
Yep, I normally just say just Google me, because there's too much.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm here, and here's too much.
Yeah, there's too many things. Yeah, there's all the platforms that we're to have now, you know, to keep your business going.
Right, and then you got to figure out. God, I've already posted this. Let me see how many pictures from back in the day. You know, one of the things I'm learning is I have a couple of people that I've interviewed, and some of my friends, they post pictures every single day, and some of these pictures are amazing. And I'm just like, okay, let me dig through the vault. Let me see what I can find. I need to start doing it more.
Same here. I need to.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's a job. It is. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to manage and maintain your social media sites, and also like keep practicing. And then if you do production like myself and recording, like there's just a lot to manage. So, yeah.
So everybody out there, if you want to do this, just know it's a lot of work. Well, Angie, thank you so much for being on Chatting with Nat. I really appreciate it. I learned a lot about you. I'm going to follow you, maybe become a stalker. I don't know. But I love your spirit, speaking your truth. You are awesome. I mean, you are empowered. You're so many things. I could go on and on and on and on. But know that you are loved, and that you're just doing amazing things in this world. You're already doing amazing things. So,
oh no, thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm truly thankful to you for creating this space and giving me this opportunity to be here. And yeah, likewise, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole looking into all of your work. I really appreciate this so very, very much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna do way more stuff. We're just trying to figure out the dynamics of everything. But yeah, no, definitely. Let's keep in touch, and I hope you have a great week.
Terrific. Thank you. You too.
Thank you. So this was Chatting with Nat, and that was award-winning singer-songwriter Angie Hayes. Until next time. Chatting with Nat is a podcast for independent women seeking to speak their truth and to break down barriers. We host honest conversations that help to guide and empower women. Speak your truth and set yourself free. Let your voice be heard. Love you.